Hey, 8th graders, our first part of our lesson today is the Oobleck Lab. So obviously if you guys are watching this, you guys are doing this from home, and I highly suggest you guys do this from home rather than watch the video. It'll just be a little bit more fun for you and a little bit better experience. So the other day we learned about solids, liquids, and gases, and today you guys are going to be messing around with a substance called Oobleck and then basically doing a claim, evidence, and reasoning to say what state of matter you guys think Oobleck is most like, or if you were to have to identify just one state of matter, what is Oobleck? Is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Okay, so your learning targets, I can use evidence to classify a solid, liquid, or a gas. Your warm-up for today is on slides 2, 3, and 4. So it looks a little something like this. You guys have gases on your first slide. So use the draw tool to circle all that apply to a gas. So you guys can see all these different classifications for what makes a solid, liquid, or gas. So circle the ones that apply to a gas. Okay, on slide 3, you guys are doing liquids, so use the draw tool to circle all that apply to a liquid. And then finally, same thing for solids, use the draw tool to circle all that apply to a solid. So all of these different classifications are in the same spot, so you guys will kind of know where they're at and what to circle. All right, so let's move on to the actual lab part for this. So here are your two options for you guys, either absent or DLI and working from home. So you guys can make Oobleck at home just in like a mixing bowl, or if you guys have some kind of baking pan, works really well too. So you guys are going to use 1.5 cups of cornstarch, and then you're going to mix that in with a cup of water. If I were you guys, I'd use a little bit warmer water as you guys are working with your hands in this, and that way your hands don't get super cold. Okay, and then you guys can add more water or more cornstarch if you need to to get that right consistency. And if you really want to get crazy, you guys can add some food coloring. But finally, be sure to clean up after yourselves. I don't need to hear from parents that you guys did not clean up your messes. Not like that's my problem or whatever the case. But and if you guys don't have those things at home, you guys can right-click this video right here. It's a little bit more boring, but that's the choice you guys maybe chose. Okay, and you guys can watch a person play with Oobleck for 5 minutes. So, like I said, preferential for you guys to play with it. It's a little bit more fun, but the video looks a little bit something like this. So what I want you guys to focus on in this video is the different things this person does to the Oobleck and kind of how it's behaving. So she gets it good and mixed up, or he, I think it's she. Okay, and then does different things like sticking fingers in it. You can see her kind of poking it and slapping it, but her fingers are staying clean. Those kinds of things. So just watch it. You guys can see her form a ball out of it. So focus on all those different things, and then how does that apply to state of matter? Really, you guys are looking at volume, whether it takes the shape of the container, whether it can maintain a shape, those kinds of things. Okay, so you guys are watching for specific details out of that video, or if you guys are doing this in person, specific details from your hands-on experiences as your guys' evidence for whether you guys think Oobleck is a solid, a liquid, or a gas. Okay, you guys can only choose one claim. So do you think Oobleck is, and then circle only one claim, a solid, liquid, or a gas? So you guys have to choose the one that you think best describes Oobleck. Okay, and then you guys will be doing a little bit of evidence and reasoning. So you guys will use your evidence directly from either your guys' hands-on experience or from the lab. So what that might look like is, you know, when the lady tapped her fingers never got wet. Okay, or she was able to roll it up into a ball. So you guys would kind of tell me the specific thing that you observed. This is going to be qualitative data, but that specific qualitative data that you observe from either doing this lab or from watching it. Okay, and then why does that matter? That's going to be your guys' reasoning. So that's where you're really going to want to tie in why that piece of evidence is important to telling you whether you think Oobleck is a solid, liquid, or gas. And what do we know about solids, liquids, or gases? So if you're claiming that Oobleck is a solid and maybe you're using her tapping her fingers on the top as your evidence, okay, why does that evidence matter? What do we know about solids that says, all right, this thing that I observed means that it's a solid because I know this about solids? And you guys can kind of refer back to either your warm-up where you talked about maybe a solid, a liquid, or a gas, okay? Or you guys can refer back to your guys' phases of matter from the last lesson. Okay, so you guys will do evidence number 1. Tell me why that matters. These should be incomplete sentences. Okay, and then you guys will do the same thing and give me a second piece of evidence supporting whether you guys chose solid, liquid, or gas. So again, what did you observe? What was that qualitative data from the lab? And then why does that matter? Think of what we know about solids and relate some of that information that we know about solids to that. And again, complete sentences there. Okay, then finally, I'm going to have you guys right-click this little video here. Open this link up, and you guys are going to learn a little bit more about solids, liquids, and gases, and Oobleck in particular. So make sure you guys watch that. Okay, you guys are all done with this lesson. Go ahead and hand it in. I hope you guys were able to experiment and have some fun at home, and I will talk to you soon.